If you clicked on this video, there's a chance that you're struggling in tier 3 in season 1 of Diablo 4. Wow, that's a lot of numbers. But it's not your fault. Blizzard nerfed a lot of things such as armor for all classes, the amount of damage that some classes are doing. So what can you do to really combat this situation? Well, first off, you could upgrade your armor pieces. I see this all the time running around in Helltides. I see people with unupgraded armor. They're level 40, low 40s. They just completed their capstone dungeon. They're running around and they're getting blasted. They're getting one-shot by mobs. Sure, you could play perfect and dodge every single projectile ever, but sometimes when a lot of mobs start swarming around your character, it becomes a bullet hell. You get clipped by something. It's really punishing at Helltides because you lose a lot of cinders every time you die. They also upped the cost of cinders in Helltide from 175 to 250. So it's going to take you forever. So instead of just running around hoping to get carried in Helltides, here's some things you can do to tackle World Tier 3 when you first get into it. So the first thing you can do is you can start farming for the aspect of disobedience. And you get this from Halls of the Damned in Kyrgyzstan. So right here. You do this dungeon, you get the disobedience aspect. And that's going to increase your armor, slap it on your amulet. It's still one of the best defensive pieces you can get for majority of the builds out there. And it's very easy. See here, even though my amulet is pretty terrible, it's got cutthroat damage and it's got energy cost reduction. So I slapped the imprint on there. And for my class, I'm also rocking with the Brutal Heart that suppresses damage. If you're playing a rogue, this is one of the better defensive hearts that you can actually get in the game right now. And second, please upgrade your armors. So here I notice my helmet doesn't have 3 upgrades. So legendary, before sacred, your gear can only go up to 4 upgrades, whereas sacred gear can go up to 5 upgrades, but it's going to start costing coiling wards and other types of, to get up to that 4th point. So it just really depends on what resources you're willing to use, how much resources you have. So here I'm actually gonna, since this is a sacred piece with twisting, this to me is a very important upgrade. I did some Helltides, I got some Forgotten Souls. So this goes up from +2 to +3 twisting. So that's gonna be a huge upgrade for my build. The rest of the stats or whatever, I'm gonna see if I can actually reroll these pieces off. So I'm not gonna do this too often because Forgotten Souls is a very rare resource, but rapid fire is something my build doesn't use, and overpowered, it's whatever. But I'm just gonna do get attack speed. It's not bad. It's not the worst. It's got attack speed, it's got +3 twisting blades. Hopefully later on I can get +4 twisting blades, but that's gonna require a much higher eye level for that to roll. Yeah, just make sure you upgrade your armor pieces. Jewelry also, once again, gonna go to the right NPC. That's a lot of resistances for very minimal investment. Personally, I find silver ore to be a bottleneck. When I'm playing around with a lot of builds, silver ore is something that I lack. In addition to finding it in the world, if you dismantle weapons and jewelry, you're gonna get silver ore. And do understand that there are a couple changes to the way mobs are now. When you go into World Tier 3, mobs aren't level 53 anymore as a baseline. They're level 55 as a baseline. And they changed it in a way so it's harder to get into the World Tier 3. But once you go past level 55, the mobs don't really scale with you, so you get that sense of power. When you're level 60, the mobs are still level 55. It's when you hit level 61 that the mobs are going to slowly level up at 56 and so on. So do understand that the mobs are a little stronger than you remember from Season 0 prior to Season 1. And Helltides, mobs are level 58 now. That's the baseline that they start at. So if you're a level 41, they're going to have a huge level advantage over you. You're going to get chunked going in there. On the flip side, Nightmare Dungeon Tier 1 mobs are level 54. So the lowest level out of all the mobs. And you get a ton of loot and a ton of XP bonuses in Nightmare Dungeons. They nerfed World XP all over the place. So Nightmare Dungeons is the premier place to get XP, and at the end of Nightmare Dungeons, they increase the loot drop. So you get a guaranteed legendary at the end and a bunch of rares. I believe it's guaranteed. There's one run where I got 2 ancient pieces. That run was insane. Oh my god. So if you're struggling in Helltides, try doing some world dungeons or some nightmare dungeons and get loot there. Hopefully you found this video helpful.